be thought of actually as the fraction 10 to the minus 2 over 1. And so then that can be rewritten as 10 to the 2. Again, flipping the fraction changes this to a positive. And we already know that 10 to the 2 is 2 10s multiplied together, or a 1 with 2 zeros. And so we can rewrite this as 1 100th. Okay. So when you guys are labeling, when we're talking about dilutions and when you're labeling your plates and whatnot, you're not going to write 1/10th. You're going to write 10 to the minus 1. And then for 1 100th, you'll write 10 to the minus 2, 1 1,000th, 10 to the minus 3, 1 10,000th, 10 to the minus 4, etc. So you can do as many dilutions as you want. 1 1,000,000th. 1 million has 6 zeros, so 1 1,000,000th is 10 to the minus 6, etc. So hopefully this part makes sense to you. This is important to know before you can understand what we're fixing to do with the making of the dilutions. Okay, I'm going to set this to the side. You can rewind if you need to watch this part, or, click back, whatever. Just ignore my computer. It's making noises. Okay, so our goal is to make 8 milliliters of 1 times 10 to the minus 4 dilution. Okay, that is going to be what we're working on. So you guys will need to be able to do this in lab on your homework and for the quiz/test. Okay, so in order to get to 1 times 10 to the minus 4, we can't jump straight there. We have to go, because remember, each time we do a dilution, it's only 1/10th. So we can't go straight from here all the way down here. That is not a real thing. We have to go 1/10th, 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 1/10th. So if I ask you to make the minus 4 dilution, I am actually asking you to make a bunch of dilutions. You can't just skip straight to here. Okay. So we are going to start with the undiluted, which is going to be the soil sample that you will collect from your biosquare outside your tree. Okay, so here we have our soil sample is going to be in a pointy tube. It's solid. Ta-da. We are going to call this the undiluted sample. Some people will call this the 10 to the 0 sample, because if you know a little bit more about exponents, you know that 10 to the 0 is 1. And so it's a way to write 1 and still keep our pattern of 10 to the something. So this is the undiluted, the 1, or the 10 to the 0. But in any case, it is the soil. Okay, so just for the sake of more example, we're going to make 8 mils only of the last one, but we'll make different amounts of the ones between. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so for our 10 to the minus 1, or 1/10th dilution, let's say that we want to make 6 mils. Let's see. Let's say that we want to make 5 mils. We're going to slowly work our way up to 8 mils. Okay, so our total is going to be 5 mils. I'm super excited, and I know you guys will just get this immediately. Okay, so if our total is 5 mils, and we know that this is going to be 1/10th as strong as this, then we're going to move over from here 1/10th of the total volume. So if we're making 5 mils, then we need to move 0.5 mils from the previous tube. Okay, so now 10%, or 1/10th of our new tube is the previous stuff, and then we're going to add the remainder water. Okay, so from over here, our first step is how much to make. So we're making 5 mils. Because every time we're doing 1/10th dilutions, our second step is what is 1/10th, or 10% of the amount that we're making. 10%, if you are familiar with like algebra, of is always times. So 10% of 5 mils is 0.5 mils. And then the remaining 90%, do not worry if you can't do that in your head, because like 90% of 5, you can just do 5 mils minus 0.5 mils, which I'm confident you can all do, gives us the remaining 90%, which is 4.5 mils. Okay? So to make this tube, we're going to have to move over 5 mils from the undiluted, and then we're going to add 4.5 mils of water. Then we're going to mix it up really good. Okay, so that's how we get our first 1/10 dilution. Hopefully, you guys are good so far. Okay, so to make our next tube, remember each of our tubes is 1/10 of the one above it. So since we've successfully done this, our next dilution has to be from the 1/10 to the 1/100th. Okay, but again, we're going to use the shortcut exponent. So this is 10 to the minus 2. I'm going to go ahead and write it down here, 1/100th. Okay, so for this one, we want to make 6 mils, just to make things more exciting. Okay, so we want to make 6 mils. So our first question is going to be, how much do we want to make? Let's see if I can scooch this. How much do we want to make? 6 mils. What is 10% of 6 mils? No problem. That is very obviously 0.6 mils.